The Disabled NHS Directors Network is proud to present the following recording in recognition of Disability History Month 2024. The DNDN was established in 2020 to bring together disabled NHS board-level leaders to strengthen their collective impact and voice, and through them, the voice of all disabled staff within the NHS. The network also provides a peer support function for its members, recognising the need to share experiences, best practice and initiatives. Since its inception, the DNDN has worked to strengthen the recruitment pipeline for disabled directors, providing best practice guidelines for the recruitment and retention of disabled people, as well as working directly with recruitment agencies to improve their processes. The DNDN goes beyond just talking and actively leads the drive towards building a more disability-inclusive culture within the NHS. This Disability History Month, we'll be sharing our experiences and views on disability and employment. Week 2. What can employers do to create a more disability-friendly environment at work?
I'm Peter Redding. I'm Chief Executive of Yorkshire Ambulance Service, and I've worked for rather a long time in the health service all over the country in different places. I'm a polio survivor, having had polio at 5 months old, which severely disabled my legs. So if you see me today, you'll see me clunking around in a caliper with crutches. So my disability is very visible. And for 3 years, I was co-chair of the Disabled NHS Directors Network. I want to talk to you about what organisations can do to improve the working lives of their disabled staff and the opportunities available to them, but also what disabled staff or disabled leaders may be able to do to promote this, because I think we all have a responsibility. First of all, from an organisational point of view, it really is important that leaders of organisations understand the importance of shifting the culture in the NHS so that disabled staff feel comfortable about coming forward about their disabilities, asking for reasonable adjustments and expecting to be treated fairly and equally alongside others. And I have to say, particularly this applies to those with hidden disabilities, physical hidden disabilities, but also which could be hearing impairments, or they may be something like epilepsy or many other conditions, but also mental health issues and those who are neurodivergent or autistic. With regard to what leaders can do, and I'm talking particularly to trust boards here, but also managers throughout organisations, it really is important that you see disability as a key protected characteristic which requires attention. And at board level, it would be really helpful if you were able to identify, I think among non-executive directors, a champion who works with your disability support network or whatever name it has in your trust, and also an executive director who can be the executive sponsor, enabling actions to take place in response to requests from that network. Equally, I think the board has a responsibility to promote right the way through the organisation open communication about disability, encouraging, for example, regular blogs by disabled leaders and staff, board members or leaders who have disabilities, particularly hidden disabilities, being supported to speak out about their disabilities. I know when I have written blogs in my own organisations about my disability, it seems to have had an enormous impact on disabled staff, encouraging them to come forward and to ask for things. With regard to what you can do as a disabled member of staff, and throughout my career, I've been disabled, so I have sort of personal experience of this. And I have to say, I didn't have the confidence to ask around my disability until I was at quite a senior level. And looking back on my career, I wish that I had stepped forward in a metaphorical sense much earlier. And I would encourage you now, if you're a disabled member of staff and whatever your condition is, to come forward if you can, if you feel safe, to promote through the disability network that you have within your trust, whatever its name is, and other things, to ask for your rights, to ask for disability leave, to ask for reasonable adjustments, to ask for a culture in your organisation where disability is not something that has to be hidden. Disability is not something which reduces your chances of promotion or of having a good job. And sometimes this is particularly important for those who develop a disability during their career. So it's a bit like the suffragettes getting the vote all those years ago. There was a responsibility on government to change the law, but equally there was a responsibility which women seized to make sure that they were asking for the right to vote. Those two things come together. So disabled leaders, you've got a job to do. Disabled staff, step forward. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for watching. In week 3, we'll be asking the question, what are the biggest barriers you have faced at work?